Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's SEO Q&A session, where I'm supposed to be joined by Mr. Palmer. I'm not sure where he is or if he's running late. It wouldn't be the first time he's running late. But here to answer any questions that you guys may have. So feel free to put your questions in the live chat over there. And do check out ODYS if you're interested in premium age domains, and we will crack on and answer any SEO questions that you have. So put them in the chat, guys. Let me know where you're from, where you're watching from, all that kind of good stuff. Mr. Palmer. So we'll see what happens. Rich Devman is here. Good to see you, Rich. Tommy, how are you, mate? Long time no see. Do I still use mass page techniques? The answer is no, Tommy. I've never been a huge fan of the kind of mass page thing. Just purely because I do my own affiliate stuff. Not that it doesn't work. I know Magic Page plugin is still working very well for a lot of people, and yeah, it's a technique that people are still working well with. What I would say, Tommy, is a lot of people have this thing where you can just slam out 20,000 location pages, and expect them all to get crawled and indexed. And I think you have to kind of drip feed them on. There is a kind of knack to it. And the guys at Magic Page Plugin are the ones to be looking at. So do check them out. They've got a Facebook group and give you training and all that kind of stuff on the best way to do it. Very smart guys. So I would highly recommend that if you are going ahead with it. But personally, it's not something I do. I do have friends who do have mass page websites that perform really well. So it does work. Andreas, good to see you, mate. Or driver, should I say. And Mr. Craig Mullins, how are you, mate? Where have you been hiding? You've not been as regular, Mr. Mullins. I don't know if you've been floating about on holiday or whatever. In fact, I think I've seen pictures of you on holiday somewhere, so hope you're enjoying it, mate. Ryan Houghton, another one. How come you and Tommy always come together, man? Has anyone ever seen you two in the same room before? LinkedIn user, hello, whoever you are. Glad to see you. Ryan's asking how Tommy is, and Ryan's saying he can see that Tommy is working hard, maybe on his decks there. But good to see you guys. And as I say, if you have any SEO or digital marketing related questions, go ahead and ask them, and we'll do our best to answer them as best we can. Andreas is saying, if I provide an SUV in London, I will be the driver in October. So yes, maybe not. It depends. I might be coming in from America, Andreas, but I'll give you a shot for sure. You work together daily now. You've got clients so often, find yourselves in the same places. It's always a good thing. Did you guys meet together on here, or do you know each other from outside of here? That is the thing. Henrique Leroux, when will you do a new test with live results? What would you like to see being tested? It tends to be, I know Chris Palmer has a live testing group. They do test, but it's not something they share on their YouTube. But tell me what you would like to see tested. I'm not a huge fan of testing for the sheer hell of testing's sake, but if there is something that's adding value, I'm always happy to do a test. So yes, I'm always up for it if you let me know what. And I know Ryan well. I'll give you a ring shortly, Tommy. We met through Facebook groups. SEO Sly, Olga. Good to see you, Olga. Hope the arm is better. In fact, it was that arm that was done for me. I don't know if you can still see the wee scar there. Yeah, I'm not even be able to get my arm right, but yeah, down there. I showed you a picture anyway, but hey. But hope the arm is getting better. Terry, good to see you, brother. Doug Mo, OMG. My day has been very good. Got myself a haircut for the first time in a few weeks. That is always good. Glenart is here from LA. Good to see you, Glenart. And anyone else just joining, let me know where you're from. Any questions you've got on digital marketing, SEO related stuff, whatever it may be, open to any questions at all. As big as mine, that's the thing, Olga. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. They said something like a 2-inch scar, and it ended up like from there right down to there. So fairly big, but hopefully yours is more of a success than mine was. That's all I can say. Ryan Houghton, thoughts on tiering links, Web 2.0s, etc. Do they still work? Does powering up guest post URLs and stuff like that work 100%? You know, it's something that certainly people in the industry will say is a waste of time and complete and utter shit, but does powering up this kind of work? It does 100%. And for me, it's working very well. For a lot of other people that I've watched, it still works very well. A lot of people in the industry are using tiered link building structures. Now, whether those are Web 2.0s, etc., or are potentially niche edits, is maybe a different question. Web 2.0s are generally just junk. They don't carry a lot of power. Edits are more powerful, and they're relatively cheap. So I would probably be leaning more towards edits. But yeah, tiered link building does work. Web 2.0s and just junk is probably less powerful and less effective, but edits work very, very well. Fred, I am good, thank you. And good to see you too, mate. Are you still on holiday or wherever you were? Oh no, you were just lurking, busy in the background, and that's fair play. That is fair play. Yazwanth Kumar, where is our guest Chris? Don't know if he's been caught up in a call. Don't know where he's got to. I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time that Chris hasn't turned up in time. However, if something's come up, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going to head myself and see what happens. Kazim, how am I, dear? I am very well, dearest. No, I'm very well, thank you. And hope you're well, wherever you're from. Where are you from, Kazam? Actor, good to see you again, mate. I hope you're good. Harish, what's your content publishing strategy for a new website? Should I start with one priority topic to build topical authority, or diversify multiple topics? So for me, I would focus on one topical cluster. That is the way I would start it. I think too many people try and do too much at the one time. For me, having a cluster with all the support, the main core topic and all the supporting articles, and then move on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. Now, that the question here is kind of double-edged. Should you create multiple topics before the website goes live? If time and budget allows you to do so, I would certainly want to have my website as full as I possibly could. So I think building the topical cluster, doing it, adding another one, doing it, and so on. If budget allows you to do that before the website goes live, I would try and do it like that. Show Google what your website's all about. But again, I know people are working with budgets and websites evolve over a period of time. So in most cases, it would just be sort the topical cluster, move on to the next one, the next one, the next one, and so on. So it really depends on what money you're spending effectively, Harish. So there you go. Tyler Perez, how are you, my man? Heinrich, well, when using tools like Pop and Surfer, how do you know if top 10 ranks for content quality or backlinks quality? That, for me, comes down to experience. There's no way of being able to fully track that. But for me, having the best quality of content means you're going to need less links. Now, to answer it, there might be a guy out there who's maybe got average content but really strong links, and he's in a kind of position there. But for me, on my own websites, I think I would focus 100% on making sure that the quality of the content is up there. I'm going to need less backlinks. That is what my experience tells me, and that is what in my head is the right thing to be doing. Now, I know someone else out there might say, nah, you can have half-assed content and the sheer power of backlinks is going to throw you into that elevated position. For me, Google are looking at content a lot more, and obviously your subheadings and everything else that goes into content to make sure that that page ranks for a much wider range of keywords. So your content shouldn't just be that's it. It should be constantly tweaked and added to and optimized to the best of your ability. So I think the content side of it always can be improved and always will be improved if you're doing your job properly. So for me, content is the big thing in all of that, and I'd want to make sure I had that on point before I started to waste money on backlinks that I might not need that much of based on the quality of content. So how important is backlinks versus content versus all other metrics? Backlinks and content do account for a big part of SEO. Let's not kid ourselves. Is technical important? Is engagement signals important? Is traffic on website important? All of these things combined are important. But for me, backlinks, content, I think good tech on a website, making sure that it's audited and all your on page is really good. So content, regardless of what way you do it, plays a big part in it, as do backlinks. Anyone who understands how the internet works will know that backlinks play a big part in it, whether you like it or not. But do you want to consider other things such as engagement signals and all that kind of stuff? Yes. Do these things work massively? Yes. Should you also be collecting data, maybe push notifications and all that? Because again, you're going to increase the engagement, or you've got the ability to do that. So I think, if I was going to pick three, it would be backlinks, content, and engagement signals. And of course, site speed and all the other wee things that go round about it. I'm not dismissing them, but they're the three big ones that I'll be looking at. Hopefully that helps. Nick Hill, do you use expired Tumblr domains as a backlink for the main website or for cloud properties? I don't personally use them, expired Tumblr domains. I think that type of backlink building for me is maybe not as effective as it once was several years ago. So I wouldn't bother. My thing just now with backlinks is do Harrow, get someone to do Harrow outreach for you, get a PR blast, get some guest posts, do some niche edits, that type of thing. Mix the backlinks up. Are you going to get a lot from an expired Tumblr? I mean, yeah, there's power there, and people will probably say, you know, that they've got results only using that. But for me, having a good, diverse, solid backlink profile is where you want to be at, and you want those to be powerful. You want them to be as relevant as you possibly can. So that is essentially where you need to be at. Some tips for local link building. So when it comes to local stuff, I would want a mixture of geographic specific links, niche relevant links, and generic powerful links, you know, whether that be news websites or whatever it may be. You know, so I think you need to come in with that three-pronged approach. I do think you need niche relevant no matter what. You are going to need some generic stuff, and as I say, some geographic specific stuff, whether that's niche relevant directories in your area or whatever that may be. But I think you need to try and achieve all three of those for local link building. All I would really say on local link building is you don't need as many backlinks as you do for a national campaign. So yeah, I mean, you can and you can rank for a lot of those areas on good on page alone. So hopefully that helps you, mate. Hi, mate. So back to Heinrich's comment on Pop and Surfer. If those tools look at the top 10, which could in theory have shit content but a massive domain authority and backlinks, those two follow them. Yes, TradeFX. That's why I think if you take what any of these tools say is gospel and follow it to the exact point, you may find that you're maybe not doing as good as you could. I think, like you say, there could be 5 guys in the top 10 who've absolutely got shit content. And obviously these tools are pulling that and then giving you information, you know, semantically related keywords and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to be off. And that's what happens when you do use tools, which is why I think you always need the human intervention. I think too many people with any tool, and that's not to be bad to Pop or Surfer. You know, I think with any tool, you need to you know, be careful what you do with it. We all know certain things like volume and all that kind of stuff on certain tools is not wholly accurate either. But we use it as a guide. And for me, that's all any of these tools can be. They're not 100% accurate. So you would need to specifically look at the niche as well and see, am I pulling in a big pile of shit here to compare my page with? And if that is the case, then you might want to maybe do some different searches where there is a search, is a keyword that you can compare with 10 really good websites. So it is a flaw within the tools that we use and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, in theory, that could exactly happen. And that is why you will hear people saying, oh, I fucking followed this tool and my fucking website went backwards and all that stuff. So there is that possibility. Nicole, let's say if a website is location specific, but it has a DA of below 10, will it be helpful? I mean, when you look at local stuff, there are websites with DA 10 or below that do rank. It really comes down to the niche itself. And, you know, some websites have like DR3 and can do reasonably well. And I think, you know, it comes down to the location specific and the niche specific. It's going to be different. All I would say there is, the more competitive it is, you probably want to power up that domain, give yourself a bit more of an opportunity. I know DA or DR, if other people use that, it's a third-party metric. It is no way, you know, the be-all and end-all or anything, but it gives you a rough idea of how powerful a website is. And if you want to target London or New York or something, that's relatively big, then of course you're potentially going to need a higher domain score. So it can be done. I've seen brand new domain names do really well with very low DRs or DAs. So hopefully that helps you, Nikhil. Mads. What's the last black hat trick you've had success with? I don't do black hat, Mads. This is a myth about this industry. So I'm trying to think of what I can say without having people on my back. Black hat trick that I've had success with. I'm trying to say something that's legal here. I'm not going to answer it, Mads. I don't do fucking black hat. Fuck that. Because every time I say something, there'll be somebody that fucking comes at me saying, "Oh, you're a fucking crook," or whatever. And I can't be fucking arsed with it, man. But yeah, so stop trying to throw me under the bus, Mads. How about, Mads, we flip this and you tell us the best black hat trick you've done recently? Because I'm trying to go all white hat and shit. That's what it's all about. I tried doing Harrow for 4 months, did not get any backlinks. I responded to 5 or 6 dozen inquiries. What is a good price to pay for Harrow response services? Pay by backlink or by response? Most people I know, Glennart, are charging you per link. Now, the average market retail value is about $400 to $500 for someone doing it for you. Can you find someone in a lower cost of country, lower cost of living, doing it cheaper? The answer is yes. And you pay per backlink, not by response. And it's all about how that's pitched and all that kind of stuff. And guys, we do have Mr. Chris Palmer here. So there we go. Chris.
How are you? Sorry, I'm running late. It's been a busy morning.
No worries. So, Chris, I'm just going through the questions that people were asking. Yeah, I've just lost where I was, but the Harrow thing. Yeah, so there are guys, Glennart, that do Harrow. Chris, I'm talking about Harrow, and I'm basically saying the kind of market value of these are $400 to $500. If you're going to a guy who does it as a service. Do you pay by backlink, or are you paying for responses?
Generally, it's going to be per placement, and they'll guarantee DR30, DR40, DR50. It's going to be by placement. Usually, they'll put out multiple responses in order to get that placement, though. That $300 to $400 that's expensive, but I think that's about the going rate. 100 to 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's your cost price, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, though, that they have to do in order to get that, though.
Yeah. What I would say as well, Glennart, here is I've had friends of mine who've said, like, can I speak to your Harrow guy, Craig? And they went in and said, dude, can you give me 50 backlinks this month? Doesn't always work like that. It's niche dependent. Like you say, you've maybe had responded to 5 or 6 potential opportunities there. And you can't get them in high volume. It's fucking really hard, especially if you're in a weird ass niche. So that is also problematic. So that's why potentially, going to these guys. But I can get it for 100. I had someone at 100. That person's really busy and doesn't do it now. We've found another person that's doing them for 200, which is round about the price that I would expect to pay a freelancer to do it. Obviously, an agency is going to double that or whatever, which is where you're going to get your 400 or 500 from, because they want to make money as well. But if you dig around, you'll be able to get it for, like Chris says, 100 to 300. But in our niche, we get that a lot. Sites with horrible content and, in general, a horrible looking site, but they rank top 3 for very competitive keywords. The only thing that stands is their quality links. So, Chris, to give you some insight into this, TradeFX asked the question. Basically, you've got Surfer or POP that compares your content to that of the top 10 search results. What if the top 10 search results have loads of websites in it and their content's dog shit? You know, that's the problem. So, you know, and basically what we were trying to answer is, what's more important? Is it the content or is it the links? And, you know, what's your opinion?
Well, it's both. It's the mean, it's the average of both of those things are the two most important pieces to ranking. I don't think it matters what it reads. Google has spoken. I mean, if it's ranking, it's there for a clear reason. Is it the links? Is it the content? Or is it a combination of both? That's why they're there. You know? So if you're going to take the mean related to, because really when you're trying to beat them, what are you looking at? Overall referring domain counts. What's the quality of the backlink? What's the content? What's the density? How many word counts? What's the heading counts? Right? That's what you're after.
Yeah.
So I think it's irrelevant of it being, you know, BS content. Like that's irrelevant. It's winning. So that's what we want to match and mirror. That's what we want to go slightly better than. And that's how you rank. I don't think it matters what it says.
Yeah. Adam, when buying old domains, do you tend to look at expired or pending delete? I'm guessing pending delete tends to be more powerful but more expensive. What are you looking at, Chris?
Well, it depends on how far in the cycle it is. I think auction might be a good opportunity. Expired is really good. Pending delete, you know, I might want to get it. I like the auction domains, you know, but I buy them expired too. It doesn't really matter. It's just the only thing I want to make sure of is if it is expired or if it has been deleted, like how long has it been down for? Like, has it been longer than 6 months? Because the probability of me getting all those links back are really low. So I don't want it to be, you know, has it been gone a really long time? Like, how long has it been down? So that's what I'd be more concerned with. Go for the auction if you want to afford that. If not, just make sure that it hasn't been offline for longer than 6 months. You could still get a lot of the links back, but it's not that much. How about you, Craig? What do you think?
For me, I would always try and go the auction route. I just don't. I think there is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going for domains that have expired, but for me, I think there is some kind of. I'm trying to think of the best word to describe it. Some kind of. It's not as powerful as if you get it from an auction that's non-dropped. So I would much prefer to go to the auction, pay more money for it. So, you know, I think for me that would be my preferred option. That said, you know, have I used expired domains and done 301 redirects and all that kind of stuff? Have I built PBNs using expired domains? Yes. Do they give the full power that they once did? Maybe not. But again, that's very hard to track. So just in my head, I would much prefer to just go to an auction or buy an aged domain name, not because ODYS are up there or anything like that. You know, going to an auction as well, you know, getting a domain for $60. Or I was talking to a guy yesterday and we were talking about building a kind of PBN type thing. And he was like, how many PBNs will I get for X amount of money? And I said, it doesn't quite work like that, because if I see a really good domain name on auction and it costs 360 quid, but it's got 100 super powerful referring domain names, high quality, I'm going to pay that 360 quid for that, because it's going to be a lot more powerful than me, you know, trying to give you 10 for, 10 PBNs or whatever. I think you have to focus on quality more than quality. So that it was my way of explaining it to him. Anyway, Actor, what's your method for finding the winning keywords and what's your favorite tool? Please elaborate with your experience. So, best keyword research tool, Chris?
I like SEMrush. And the primary keywords are going to be based upon the organic keywords that the leading competition is ranking for within a SERP. So I'm looking for secondaries or supporting pieces of content based on the primaries that I want to win. So if I say I want to win Houston Plumber, I go see, well, who's the top 10 ranking Houston Plumber websites? I pull them in one by one and I'm looking, well, what other organic traffic are they ranking for that I can go create dedicated pages on that will support my Houston Plumber page? I'm just using that as an example. So that's what I use. SEMrush. I assume you're about the same.
Yeah, SEMrush is the key, the tool, and I'm not dismissing any other ones. It's just been my preferred tool for years. Stuck with it for a long time and always found it useful. So no need to change for me. So SEMrush. TradeFX has got a question. He's launching a second site, not local in South Africa. It's global now in 10 languages. The local site has 10,000 unique visits. It's been running for 12 months. Is that, in your opinion, a good achievement? Getting from 0 to 10,000 unique visits a month?
Heck yeah. Sounds like a win to me.
That, for me, is a win. Obviously, could you have done better? I'm pretty sure if we wanted to rip it apart and say you could have done this, done that, yes, anyone can say that. But I think, you have to give yourself a pat on the back sometimes. And, that is no mean feat. I think, fair play for doing it. I don't know the niche. I don't know the local area as such. But you've started with minimal budget and it's in the Forex niche, which I'm going to make the assumption. I've worked in Forex before, and I know that's a super competitive market. So 10,000 uniques in a super competitive market. And I guess you were some kind of trade something, but Forex is competitive. So I would say that's minimal budget in the Forex niche. That's a grand job, mate. Grand job. Olga, if I want to start affiliate marketing for real, would you recommend building a site from scratch? I know SEO a bit, so I can do that, or better to buy an existing one?
Depends on the niche.
I mean, in an ideal world, Olga, I would love, or what I have done, is take advantage of someone who's done some of the legwork, done some of the research, maybe been really good at adding the content, but been really bad at monetizing it properly and link building and stuff like that. So in an ideal world, I'd rather buy something that was earning some money, not great money, and I could add more to it. So in an ideal world, I would rather buy. It just means that legwork's been done. However, starting from scratch and doing the whole journey from literally zero, buying the domain name to scaling that up, also gives you a wee bit of a sense of reward, if you like, going, do you know what, I've literally taken this from zero rather than buying it at $200 or $300 a month. So, but I'm a lazy bastard, and I would much rather let someone else do the grunt work and pay them accordingly for it. So that's where I'm looking for opportunities where some poor bandit has put their heart and soul into it and taken it as far as they can, and then I'll come in and do my thing. So hopefully that answers your question. Do you do it any differently, Chris, or are you thinking along the same lines?
I primarily am looking for, I like to have a starting point. Yeah, I mean, I've created from scratch, but it's a very long road. If you have the budget and the patience in order to get there, then yeah, I think it is rewarding. However, if you want to be a little bit smarter about it, I think it might be better to start off with at least have your foot in the door.
Yeah. I think for me, it just gives you an idea if the niche is going to work. If someone can get it to $200 or $300, I think that's the hardest part, from 0 to 200-300. Everything else is scalable. And so that's just my take on it, though. Mads, you're trying to go white hat. I'm all white hat, so not using any. Good one, Mads. Good one. Mads, the white hat SEO. He ain't fucking white hat. He likes everything. He's just a money hat guy. He doesn't give a fuck. But hey, our global site, we now have a budget of $50K a month for backlinks. Is that overkill or a good number if done right? I think in your niche, that kind of budget could work very, very well for your global website. I think it gives you a fair chance of dominating a number of different markets. Or a good number if it's done right. I think, with anything, if it's done properly, then yes, you would need to make sure that you've got a mixture of different stuff going on, though, not just guest posts or not just niche edits or not just some garbage when someone sees your 50k budget. You need someone to sit there and say, for your 50k, and obviously it would be split up into different segments, for different parts of the world. But, that has to be then broken down, and you have to get the link diversity right. And yeah, I think it could be good if it's done properly. Just don't let someone take 50k a month from you and basically give you a whole pile of money robot garbage. Because if you are going to do that, give me the 50k and I'll fucking do it. Nah, I'm only kidding. But genuinely, do your due diligence. Make sure that it's mapped out properly. And I think, I'm not saying that's right. We have to look at the competition and see what they're spending on. We need to see another global website. It might be too little. It might be too much, but that's where we'd have to look at the competition. But if you're coming from behind the competition, a 50 grand budget would allow you to catch up with them quicker. So it all depends is the answer. But Chris, do you have anything different to say on that, or are you thinking the same?
Nah, don't. I wouldn't lead with that, because if you tell somebody that you have a 50 grand budget, well, that's what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
So I would try to find somebody that's going to lead you into the right direction and let them lead with cost. I wouldn't lead with that, my friend.
Heinrich, what tools is a must to use to have a look at to add with proven track records, excluding SEMrush and Ahrefs? Heinrich, in what respect? Because we could rattle off hundreds of tools here, depending on what you were trying to achieve. Is it something from the technical perspective, like auditing tools? Is it, I don't know, whatever, like a surfer, a POP, like an on-page analyzer? Let us know what you think, because I could literally rattle off 100 tools right now. Some of them are not even SEO related. Like, I'm buying shit in AppSumo and all sorts of stuff to automate like daily tasks and stuff. So I've got tools for everything. So let us know more about maybe where you're having an issue, what you're struggling with, and we can advise better, rather than just saying for the sheer hell of it, Sitebuild, go get that, for auditing. So let us know more, and we'll come back to that one. TradeFX, if you choose between niche relevant DR10 versus a DR50 versus with 1,000 traffic, if you had to go with one, what would you prefer? So a low niche relevant one or a high DR with 1,000 plus traffic, Chris? What is going to help you better? So there's two links. One's a DR10, niche relevant. The other one's just generic as fuck, DR50, but it's got 1,000 hits.
Well, I would take a look at the referring domains, but I'd rather the DR50 with 1,000 hits.
Really?
Yeah. If I was looking, definitely. It depends on the referring domain, because that DR10 might have 2,000 referring domains.
I mean, if that DR10's got 2,000 referring domains, then fuck that shit. It's garbage. But there's going to be certain instances here, TradeFX, where you're going to get a very different answer. If I could get something that was new, potentially grown, but it was niche relevant, and it was a DR10 over some inflated fucking spam fest DR50, I would take the niche relevant one. So there's going to be different answers all the time. But Chris says, if that's a DR10 that's got 2,000 backlinks, it's a jackass website. No one wants it.
It depends on how they got that 50. That's massively important. Yeah. How did that 50 show up? That's the question. Is it 50 from time and building links, or did it just happen overnight? So that's a loaded question. The 10 could be better if it's topically relevant and it's getting some traffic and it's all high quality links, but it only hit a DR10. That's fine. But if those are real links that it's a DR50 and there's a lot of them and it's a potent site and it's getting some traffic, I'll take the generic over the topically relevant if there's more power there, if there's truly more power there.
Cool. TradeFX. By BS content, I mean POP or Suffer says the content is poor according to the tool, yet they rank top 3 for hundreds of keywords in our niche. The only thing based on analysing are their backlinks. So yeah, so TradeFX was saying that. So do you see that a lot, Chris, when you're using these on-page tools?
That happens very consistently. Again, it's either they're winning because of their on-page, they're winning because of their off-page, or a combination of both. Some people are really strong in one particular area, but they're lacking in others, and they're doing really, really well. So yeah, that's pretty. I think that's across the board on almost every niche.
Cool. Tommy, Chris is trying to get in touch with you. Did you change your number?
Well, I don't know when the first time was you tried to contact me. No, I've had the same number forever. I don't think so. I think we're friends on TikTok too. And yeah, give me a call, Tommy.
Give him a call.
Give me a call. If it's coming through WhatsApp, I probably might not have seen it. So I'll be on the lookout now, though, if I know that it's coming.
Like right now, Tommy.
So I know the number.
Yeah. James Moore's asking, where else can you buy live auction domains apart from the high ticket sources? Is there a cheap place to buy live auction domains, Chris, that's maybe cheaper than the normal places?
Well, I mean, it's a live auction. We generally GoDaddy. That's the only place that I really go to in order to buy auction domains is GoDaddy. A lot of times now I've been buying the expireds. But no, I mean, GoDaddy.
GoDaddy for me as well. I'm not sure of any other place that does it. I think GoDaddy have pretty much got that market sewn up, to be honest. And fair play to them. So,
yeah.
And no problem, Olga. TradeFX. Loving this session, guys. For a new website, I think it would 100% assist with having a constant consultation with either or both of you. How can I go about getting those prices? DM us and we can talk to you. Just DM me on Facebook or send me an email through my website, which is CraigCampbellSEO.com, or you can go to ChrisPalmerMarketing.com and ping Chris or DM him or whatever, and we can
calendar
one or other or whatever, and hopefully be able to guide you in the right direction. But it seems as if you're going in the right direction, so fair play. Terry Samuels, on your auction domain buys, do you put the Wayback Machine site back on?
I put the pages back on, depending on the page, what was there. Yeah, we're testing that right now. Do you have to? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe.
It's one of those things. I think it's just an important part of the process to get the old URLs live again, get the content up, and then switch shit out if you're going to switch shit out or do redirects from that point. For me, the most important thing is getting those links live again, and then back onto Google's index, and then switch it out. So the answer would be pretty much yes, for sure. Terry Power is there. Have you met Terry Power before, Chris?
Terry Power, yes.
Great big guy from over your side of the pond. Hopefully bump into you at some point this year. Terry, I will be coming to Rockstars. I will be at the NFG event as well and the Mastermind Mansion. I don't know if you're going to that, but and I may also be coming to Terry. Terry, I haven't ignored your message. I'm just trying to make sure that everything aligns because Terry also has a mastermind in the middle of September in Florida. So trying to catch as many as I can while out there. Although Rockstars is in November. So back home and then out there in November again for Rockstars. So, but hopefully bump into you, Terry. There, very clever guy, and it'd be good to have a beer with you, Terry. Craig Mullins is saying start out slow with an agency, try them out on another site to see the quality. We have an internal outreach team.
Beautiful thing.
TradeFX, thoughts on SEO Jet? I like the anchor feature it has in it. You tried that?
I don't think I've ever used it.
No, I've not used it.
Maybe screwed around with it, but I don't think I've ever utilized it.
Maeve, good to see you. Hope you're well. And Terry Samuels does the same thing with the build outs on the way from the Wayback Machine. Works well for me.
Let's touch on that because I get that one a lot. Not necessarily building out the exact content, just the page structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people they'll say like, "Oh man, this content's horrible." Like I wouldn't worry about all that, but building out the actual page,
yeah. The URL structure being the
key.
Yeah. TradeFX, when either of you started way back when, what do you wish you knew then? What you know now? So anything that you're maybe kicking yourself for or something you're like, fucking damn, I wish I knew that.
Patience. Wish I would have learned patience sooner.
The only thing, I've loved all of the experiences, even losing money. I've lost a lot of money. I've fucked up a lot of websites. I've started projects that I never finished. I've done a lot of things like that. The big thing for me, though, I used to believe in all that white hat stuff and try and be the good guy. And at the start of your career, you're always kind of having that rammed down your throat from the sources that are out there. And I wish I'd woken up sooner to what actually works rather than trying to fit in with, that whole Google will reward good content crap. Because that sat for a long time waiting for that to happen. So that would be the one thing. I was pretty naive. I was pretty young when I was doing it, but yeah, that's the one thing. But everything else, I think I've enjoyed the good things and the bad things. I've had highs, lows, all that kind of stuff. And I think the overall journey has been amazing. And as I say, I like making mistakes to make myself stronger and better. So we all do them and continue to do so. So I haven't really changed that much. I've thoroughly enjoyed the learning curve, although it's taken me a lot longer than it should. It should have taken anyone else. So, yeah, that's it. What about you, Chris?
I think, man, the patience, doing what works. I went right for what was working at the time. No, I think the patience is my number one. Things always take longer than, exactly what you touched on. Things always take a lot longer than you think they're going to. And some things are not as hard as you might think that they are. Patience and take your time. I think these are the most valuable lessons that I've learned over the course of time in this particular arena.
Yeah. And by the way, Terry's events in Florida, I don't know if there's any spaces available, but I'm giving it a shout out anyway. But Terry, one thing I will say is Brad and Mike are having their event off the back of Funnel Hacking Live, which I believe is in Florida. So I'm hoping to get there as well. That is the plan. Where I bring the family to, Disney World's there as well. So it ticks a lot of boxes for me, being able to come and catch you guys. And then go and do the Brad and Mike thing, go to Funnel Hacking, then go to Nashville, and then bugger off home. That way, I've got 3 or 4 events in my bag.
Bugger off.
Good for me. So that's the plan, Terry. But I'm just waiting on a few things, dates and stuff being confirmed. So I'll let you know as soon as I can, man, if I can definitely make it. But I'd love to, and appreciate the offer and all that. Chase, my man. And there is a few slots left for Terry's event. Terry, what is the event called again? I can't remember the actual name of it, but if you let me know, I'll give it a shout out. So, Chase, anyway, thank you very much for the donation. Chase is killing it out there. Does a lot of automation, is making money on autopilot. And I'm going to need to look into this shit because,
right?
Yeah, I see doing good stuff. I'm like, oh man. But great guy, Chase, and great to see you, mate. And do appreciate the donation. Do check out Chase. Terry's event is Roundtable SEO Mastermind, so check it out. He does have a few slots left, and these masterminds, and these guys in general, Terry, Merlino's going to be there, and a whole bunch of guys. So, yeah, real good guys that we can all learn from. So check it out. TradeFX loves what he does, and that's important. So it's exciting to wake up and be like, what can I learn today? That's great. That's a great mindset to have. And TradeFX is saying SEO expert Chicago LOL. We all know what that means. So
number one now.
Number one.
You
said Chicago was a bit tougher than you thought.
Yeah, it took 2 weeks, but little traffic dust, and next thing you know, poof, number one.
Fair play. I like seeing these things happen. Tommy doing the AI. Tommy's doing Chase's AI course. Oh my days, it is awesome. Good on you, Tommy. I might have to jump in there myself. And Darren Muzzy is here. We do have 8 minutes left, guys. Please do leave a little like on the video. And do ask any questions over in the live chat over there. Yeah, we'll answer as many as we can in the last 8 minutes. Darren's wife had him doing chores. Chores is not my kind of thing, Darren. I try and avoid them as best I possibly can. I'm not going to lie. And that's enough said. I'm a lazy bandit, so fair play to you for doing it, Darren. I'm lucky my wife does most of it. So, but anyway, keep the questions coming, fellas. Chris, is your New York site bringing in much traffic?
Not the actual test site, but the actual page does pretty good. I would hope to do a lot better, but yeah, the actual Google site, no, that does not do very well at all. Not anything that I can notice. But the main page gets a couple leads.
The problem you've got, Chris, and this is just my perception of it, is I've went to rank for a lot of local different search terms. Who is searching for those search terms? Is it other SEOs doing their nosy what you're up to? Does that type of keyword convert that well? I'm against. I would be saying I don't think those type of keywords convert that well. I'm sure you get the few inquiries, but I think of the few inquiries you get, would they be like the real low end guys with, your $100 a month budgets and stuff like that? Is that what you're seeing?
There's all types. A lot more of those than I would hope for. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds like you have experience with this field.
Oh, dude. I had a friend, so Gary Wilson, who used to have the link service. So I was doing my agency thing in Glasgow, and I dominated the rankings for years and years and years. And then Gary came onto the scene. But by that time, I was trying to do more affiliate and all that stuff. So I kind of took my foot off the gas. And Gary was like, yes, I'm #1 in Glasgow. And I'm like, dude, you're welcome to it. But he could never understand why I wouldn't challenge him for it. And it's just not worth my time or effort to fight with someone to be in that #1 position, because it brought me just pain in the ass clients, is my experience. And I wasn't sure if that would be different in the New York, but I think everyone I've spoken to over the years would tell me the same thing. Don't go after those search terms. It's a vanity search term. You're Googling it. All the little fucking guys in that area and women are Googling it. And yeah, I just think it's an ego search term more than anything. So,
oh yeah, and then to get there with garbage is just, yeah, it's an ego thing, I think. Yeah, for fun, and two, like, it's test. You're trying to figure out what's going on. So, like, it's zeros. Like, who the heck is going to convert off of zeros? Nobody.
Yeah,
nobody.
But exactly.
If you want to know if your SEO has their on-page dialed in, it's a good way to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Tommy, take it easy, mate, and speak to you soon. Darren has a question. When you put in products on the GMB and in a video you put placeholder images in with the logo, do you switch those images later once Google puts it on your panel?
Me, myself, no. They generally will auto-generate within the Google Business Profile. They'll auto-generate from the first couple minutes, I believe. I think it's within the first 50 seconds, it looks like. They just take a snapshot, and then that's the photo that's used. Even when you check the i5 Google user content under sources in developer mode, like, they just take a still. So I don't change anything. I don't do anything other than upload the videos. So.
Well, that helped you.
So I have, yeah.
And he looked at Chris's site. How do I find you on Facebook, just so I get the right person?
It's Chris Palmer Marketing. You just click on SEO Consulting. It's up at the top.
It's
clean. It's easy.
If you just put in Craig Campbell SEO on Facebook, you'll find me. But go to craigcampbellseo.com and ping me a contact form, and I'll get straight back to you. That's the best way. So just go there, and we'll sort something out. And hopefully, as I say, one of us or both of us can help you out in some way or another. Whoops. I just clicked on something I shouldn't have there. So yeah, Darren's question's been answered. Any other last minute questions, guys? We have 2 minutes to go, and I don't like going. I don't like going without hitting the hour mark. Cool. I just see a page for me on my consultant page as well. You should be able to see a form down the bottom of it. But just shoot me an email and we'll figure something out. I can send you my Calendly link and all that stuff. Yeah, it's easier that way, man. Easier that way. Shoot the email, and as I say, I'll give you 50 grand worth of money robot if you want. That's no problem for me. I'm only kidding. But guys, please also do put a like on the video if you've enjoyed the show. Everyone's quite quiet today. They started off relatively hard with it. I'm just seeing if I've missed any questions.
Last 5-6 minutes have been a little down.
Come on, guys, spit out a couple of questions.
They were cooking there for a while.
How big of a project have you worked with? Millions and millions of pounds I have worked with in the past. Chris, you've worked with some big projects.
I don't know about millions on a single project. Tens.
I mean, not all in SEO, by the way. These. But yeah, I've worked with companies with big budgets.
Nothing huge like that. No. I mean, good budgets, but not in the millions.
Not in the millions?
No. Nobody that has $1 million marketing budget. No.
Come on.
No.
Fucking hell.
Unfortunately, no.
I'm not talking about like $1 million a month or anything, millions a year.
Oh, companies that are doing millions a year?
No, they've got a marketing budget of millions a year.
No. Nothing that big. Nah, not that I can recall. Nothing super large like that. I mean, they have really awesome budgets, like much better than say like a Houston plumber, but I wouldn't say in the millions. No. Haven't had that opportunity.
But you know what they say about clients with big budgets? Big arguments. More meetings.
Probably lower trouble, I would assume, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've found
it's
that a
probably
lot.
easier to deal with. The higher the ticket, the less hassle. The lower the ticket, the more the hassle. I've noticed.
Darren's got a final question. Did you work in a jewelry store before? I thought I heard you say that. And if so, did content play a big role? Because most jewelry stores are thin in content.
I personally, I don't know about jewelry stores, but they sell like logos and not logos, like medallions and chains, that type of stuff. And then their product pages were light, but we had to beef those up.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, not a jewelry store per se. Have you, Craig? Is he referring to you?
Stores, but they sell like
That's replaying back to me somehow. Fucking had to close that tab. I've never worked in a jewelry store or anything like that. I have worked on stores that have been really thin in content. You know, a lot of e-commerce stores in general, when you inherit them near the start, are really thin in content. If anything, they've started out with content they've got from their supplier, and content can play a big role if you tweak that out and sort it out. So I think a lot of big stores are thin on content and basically have the bare basics, and I would assume that's the same with the jewelry niche in itself. So yeah, I think content can play a big part in it. Of course, when something's got thin content, so got to try and sort that out. And content on an e-commerce store, as I say, I've had arguments with business owners who have category pages, and they don't want a whole lot of text on there and all that kind of stuff. You know, there's always arguments with these guys as well. They don't want too much content, and where do you put the content? Do you open it up and I read more? So there's a lot of little quirks to websites like that as well. So there's got to be a compromise in terms of look and SEO. So content does play that big part, man. But on that note, guys, we are finished for today. But we will be back at the same time next week, and we will catch you guys soon. And please do check ODYS up the top right hand corner there if you're interested in aged domain names. Cheers, everyone.